What if I told you God's eyes have been on you all along? Welcome to Chill Then Conquer. There are moments in life when you look around and think, no one sees, no one notices, no one cares. You have walked through storms alone. You have fought silent battles, the kind that leave no bruises but tear at your soul. You've stayed awake on nights when the world slept, your pillow wet with prayers that never made it past your lips. And maybe you thought those moments vanished into nothing, but they didn't. They were recorded. They were witnessed, not by the crowd, not by the ones who judged you quickly and forgot your name, but by the one who crafted your soul before you ever took your first breath, the one who sees beyond your mistakes, beyond your scars, and into the unshakable core of who you are. This is not a story about religion. This is about reality, a higher reality that most people overlook because they are too busy searching for approval from the wrong audience. It's about the truth that the most important eyes in the universe have been watching your journey step by step, moment by moment, and He has noticed. Every sacrifice you made in silence, every temptation you resisted when no one would have blamed you for giving in, every act of kindness you offered without expecting anything in return, every time you stood when it would have been easier to fall. These are not forgotten. They are not wasted. They are seeds planted in the soil of eternity, waiting for their appointed season to bloom. And whether you realize it or not, you've been walking through a divine script, one that doesn't end with your pain, but transforms it into something far greater. Breaking the silence between you and heaven. You see, most people imagine God as a distant observer, sitting in the sky, handing out blessings and punishments based on public deeds. But that's not the truth. The truth is, He sees the private tears no one else knows about. He hears the quiet, "I forgive you," that never leaves your mouth. He counts the steps you take when you have no strength left to move forward. And in those moments when you feel invisible, you are in fact most visible to Him. Because it's not in the applause that your worth is measured. It's in the moments when no one is clapping, and yet you choose to keep going. That's why you've survived things others couldn't. That's why the weight that should have crushed you has only shaped you. You weren't just lucky. You weren't just strong. You were seen. You were carried. You were chosen to endure. Because there is a chapter coming in your life where endurance will be the proof of your calling. The quiet proof of value. You've been asking questions lately, haven't you? Why me? Why this road? Why so much silence from heaven? Let me tell you something most people never hear. Silence is not absence. Silence is the ground where the deepest roots grow. And when heaven seems quiet, it is often because something is being prepared, not just for you, but through you. Your story is not just about survival. It's about becoming the kind of person who can stand in the middle of a collapsing world and still radiate peace. And you can't fake that. You can't buy that. You can only become that by living through the kind of trials that break shallow souls and strengthen deep ones. Not Armand. You've been marked. You've been set apart. Not because you're perfect, but because there is something in you that this world desperately needs. Something forged only in the fires you've walked through. Think about it. If all you were meant for was comfort, your life would have been easy. But ease never builds the kind of strength heaven is after. No, your story has been designed with precision. Every heartbreak, every delay, every betrayal has been a chisel in the hands of a master sculptor. And you're not done yet. This is not about giving you the answers. It's about shaking you awake to the truth that your life has been seen, valued, and set apart from the very beginning. The struggles you thought were punishments were actually preparations. The battles you fought alone were not lost in the wind. They were logged in eternity's ledger. The question is, will you keep living like an unnoticed soul? Or will you step into the identity of someone heaven has been watching closely, preparing carefully, and protecting fiercely? Because in the next we're going to pull back the curtain. We're going to look at how God's all-seeing perspective changes everything, and why knowing this will transform the way you walk through every day of your life. There is a season in the life of every chosen one that feels like exile, Not an exile marked by borders or barbed wire, but a silent withdrawal from the noise of the world. It is the kind of disappearance people talk about in whispers. One day you were in the center of the room, your name echoing in conversations, your presence requested in every gathering. And the next, you were gone. Not because you were defeated, but because you were being prepared. For the chosen, silence is not emptiness, it is the forge. It is the space where the noise of the world dies and the voice of destiny grows louder. Others see it as a retreat, maybe even as weakness. They will say you have lost your spark. They will assume you are finished. But only you and the one who spared you know the truth. You are in the hidden phase of preparation. The hidden classroom. The chosen do not train in public. Their greatest lessons are learned in obscurity, behind closed doors where no applause can reach them. This is where you are stripped of illusions, where the false parts of yourself are burned away. It is where the ego is broken so that true power can take its place. When you have been saved from death more than once, it is not so you can return to the same shallow life you had before. No, those escapes mark the beginning of an apprenticeship in a realm most will never enter. Every scar becomes a syllabus, every close call a lecture. You study survival, patience, and discipline until they become part of your bones. The world wants everything fast. The chosen know that the highest callings are not microwaved. They are slow burned in the furnace of time. You are not being delayed. You are being deepened. The pain of isolation. Let us not lie. It is not easy. The silence can feel suffocating. You watch others race ahead, their names flashing in the light, their voices amplified by the crowd. Meanwhile, you are sitting with ancient books, quiet mornings, long nights, and the strange ache of being unseen. But here's the paradox. The very obscurity you hate is the shelter that keeps you safe until your appointed time. If the spotlight hit you too soon, it would burn you to ash. If the door opened before your foundation was strong, the weight of your mission would crush you. The chosen must learn to endure the tension between what they are destined for and where they are right now. This is where trust is tested. Trust in the timing, trust in the process, trust in the one who saved you. The silent work. While others announce their every move, the chosen keep their steps hidden. They are building in secret, learning skills, forging discipline, strengthening their spirit. You do not see the roots growing beneath the soil, but one day they will hold up a tree so massive it will defy storms. You begin to notice things others overlook. You sense danger before it arrives. You read the shifts in a person's tone, the tremors beneath calm waters. It is not paranoia, it is the sharpening of a survivor's instinct. That is what multiple brushes with death do to a person. They make you see the invisible patterns most miss. And while the world scrolls endlessly, losing itself in distraction, you are learning to be present, to listen, to watch, to wait. This is your training, and you cannot skip it. The transition phase. At some point, the silence will begin to feel different. It will no longer feel like punishment, but like sanctuary. You will realize you are not waiting for the world to choose you. You are being positioned to step into it without needing its validation. The preparation season teaches you the art of moving unseen until the moment is right to strike. The chosen understand that revelation without preparation is a trap. Power given too early destroys the one who holds it. When you finally emerge, you will not come out desperate for approval. You will not come out seeking revenge on those who doubted you. You will come out as a force, calm, precise, untouchable. And here is the part that will confuse them most. You will not need to announce that you are ready. The world will feel it before you even speak. And so, the question remains, if you have been spared from death, if you are in this silent season, are you willing to trust the preparation, even when no one else sees it? Because in the next part, we will enter the moment when the silence breaks, when the chosen one steps from the shadows into the arena they were always meant to command. There comes a day when the air feels different. You wake up and sense it before you even open your eyes. The season of hiding has ended. The silence that once covered you like a cloak now begins to tear, not by accident, but by design. For years you moved in the shadows. You learned to speak only when it mattered, to act only when the strike would count. You endured the whispers of those who thought you were finished, the looks of pity from those who could not understand. But you were never finished. You were gathering strength, and now that strength demands a voice. The breaking of the silence is not about shouting. It is not about sudden rage or reckless motion. It is about a precision so sharp it feels like destiny itself is speaking through you. When the chosen one finally speaks after years of quiet, every word carries the weight of unspoken seasons. It is not just speech, it is the release of all the power that was stored in the waiting. The world hears the tone before it understands the meaning, and the tone alone commands attention. This is why the silent years matter. They load your voice with truth. When you step forward after a long disappearance, people will freeze. They will not know how to respond because they had already written the story of your ending. They thought you were out of the game, but now, here you are. Different, sharper, unreadable. The first move is not to prove anything to them. The first move is to take your rightful ground, to place your feet where they were always meant to stand, without asking permission. This is not arrogance. It is alignment with your calling. And here's the secret. The breaking of the silence is not for their benefit. It is for the fulfillment of the mission that was entrusted to you when you were spared. If you break the silence too soon, you ruin the preparation. If you wait too long, you miss the opening. But when you move in perfect timing, the effect is unstoppable. You must understand, timing is a weapon. Your reappearance is not random. It must come when the terrain is ready, when the hearts of those who will stand with you have been prepared, when the enemies have relaxed their guard. The chosen do not fight on their enemy's schedule. They create the battlefield. The most startling part for those who see you again will not be your words, but your presence. They will feel the stillness in you, the stillness that is not passive, but loaded with intent. It is the stillness of a warrior who has walked through fire and come out unburned. You will notice the shift in their eyes. Some will look at you with fear, some with admiration, some with the regret of having underestimated you. But you will not be moved by any of it. Because the silence has taught you the rarest skill of all, how to stand alone, without needing the noise of approval to keep you steady. Breaking the silence does not mean explaining yourself to everyone. It does not mean running back to the same circles or old patterns. It means acting in such a way that your presence alone changes the environment. When you re-enter the arena, you do not come back to compete. You come back to redefine the game. You speak less, you move more. Your actions become messages. Your discipline becomes the proof. And here's the truth. Some people will not survive your return. Not because you attack them, but because your growth will expose their stagnation. Your presence will be a mirror, and not everyone is ready to see their own lack of progress. Ironically, even when you break the silence, you will still carry silence within you. You have learned not to waste words. You have learned the art of letting mystery do the heavy lifting. Yes, you are now visible. Yes, you have stepped back into the light. But you will never again speak more than necessary. You will never again hand over your inner world to those who have not earned the right to enter it. The chosen one knows. Not all silence is broken at once. Some of it is kept forever. This phase is not the end. It is the turning of the key. It is the moment when all that was hidden in you begins to move outward, shaping the lives of others, reshaping the spaces you enter. You will inspire some, disturb others, and change many without even trying. And as you step into this new phase, you will understand something that only the chosen can truly grasp. You did not survive all those near deaths to live quietly forever, but neither did you survive to live loudly, without purpose. The breaking of the silence is not about noise, it is about impact. And so the path turns again, for beyond the breaking of the silence lies something greater, the mastery of movement. Not just speaking at the right time, but walking in such a way that every step becomes destiny unfolding. There is a moment when the realization finally settles on you. You are not here to live like the rest. You are not here for comfort. You are here for a burden, one that only your shoulders can carry. Up until now, the idea of being a chosen one may have sounded noble, even inspiring. But in this part of the journey, you must confront the truth. The calling comes with weight, a weight that will test every fiber of your soul. History remembers the victories of the great, but rarely does it speak of the crushing isolation they endured in the quiet hours between battles. It will not tell you of the nights they stared into the darkness, wondering if they were strong enough to keep going. It will not tell you how their very survival often came at the cost of deep wounds. Wounds that the world never saw, but that bled within them for years. You have been kept alive for a reason, and now that reason begins to show itself. But here's the reality. Your mission will not feel like a straight path. It will feel like a winding road that pulls you through valleys so deep you question if the light above still exists. The chosen are rarely chosen for ease. They are chosen for endurance. The kind of endurance that is forged only when you are pushed to your absolute limit. Every hardship you have faced until now has been shaping the weapon you are meant to become. Every betrayal, every loss, every close call, it has all been preparing you for the precise moment when your role in the greater plan will demand everything from you. The world will not make this easier for you. In fact, the closer you get to fulfilling your mission, the more the world may try to break you. Friends will misunderstand you. Loved ones may drift away. Your motives will be questioned. Your strength will be doubted. And in those moments, it will feel tempting to walk away, to return to the illusion of an easier life. But here's the truth you must grip tightly. The mission isn't just about you. It's about those you are destined to impact. It's about the chain of events that will unfold because you stood your ground when it mattered most. If you step away, the plan shifts, and someone else may have to bear the weight you were uniquely designed to carry. Do not think this means you are expendable. It means you are critical. You are part of a sequence the universe has calculated with precision. Your delay delays others. Your silence echoes into lives you may never see. But when you act, when you move forward with the strength that has been forged in your past trials, you trigger ripples that may save lives, restore hope, or break chains of darkness that have held people for generations. And so, the weight remains. Not as a punishment, but as a crown. A crown you cannot yet wear in full view of the world, because the world would not understand it. But you will feel its presence. You will know it every time you feel the pressure to give up. That pressure is proof you are still on the path. The mission will not announce itself with fanfare. It will arrive quietly, in moments where you are called to act when no one else will. It will test your courage when no audience is watching. It will demand faith when every sign seems to suggest you are alone. But you are not alone. The same force that spared you before still walks beside you now. It will not remove the obstacles, because the obstacles are part of the shaping. But it will never abandon you in the middle of them. So hold the line, even when the path narrows, even when the road feels endless, even when the night seems to have no dawn. Because somewhere ahead, there is a moment waiting for you, a moment where your survival, your endurance, and your faith will converge into a single act that changes everything. This is why you were spared. This is why you are still here. And in the next step of our journey, we will speak of what happens when this mission begins to fully awaken inside you, and how the world will respond when it does. It happens quietly. There is no trumpet, no flash of lightning, no great voice declaring your arrival. One day, you simply notice that the fire inside you burns differently. It no longer flares up only in moments of pain or injustice. It has become steady, like a flame that refuses to die no matter how strong the wind. This is the awakening. The moment the mission is no longer just an idea in your mind, but a living force in your very bones. You begin to see patterns where before you saw only chaos. The betrayals that once broke you now appear as doors that had to be closed. The losses you cursed now look like the very training that built your precision. And the silence you once feared has become your most unshakable ally. People around you will notice the change, though they may not understand it. Some will be drawn to you, sensing the depth, the calm, the unshakable presence that comes from someone who knows why they walk this earth. Others will pull away, unsettled by the fact that they can no longer control you, no longer read you, no longer predict your moves. And this is where the real challenge begins. Because when the mission awakens, the stakes rise. You are no longer living in reaction to life, you are shaping it. And that makes you a threat to anything or anyone built on illusion. There will be resistance. Not the loud, obvious kind, the subtle kind. Distractions, doubts, false opportunities, designed to pull you away from your path. You will be tempted to spread yourself thin, to chase validation, to return to old patterns, just to feel the comfort of familiarity. But you cannot go back. Not now, not after seeing the truth. The mission demands focus. It demands that you guard your time as you would guard your last breath. It demands that you choose your battles, your words, your silences with surgical precision. And here is the paradox. The more the mission awakens in you, the calmer you become. Not because life gets easier, but because you are no longer swayed by every wave. You are anchored, you are steady. You are dangerous to anything that thrives in chaos. The people meant to walk with you will feel this calm and align with it. The people not meant for your journey will fall away, sometimes painfully, but always necessarily. And so the path sharpens. You begin to see exactly where you are meant to step, and exactly where you must refuse to tread. You understand that not every fight is yours. Not every hill is worth dying on. Not every voice is worth answering. Instead, you pour yourself into the few things that truly matter. And because of this, your impact multiplies. Every decision sends shockwaves further than you will ever see. The awakening also carries a warning. Once the mission is alive in you, the weight will not disappear. It will grow, but now you will carry it with ease. Not because it is lighter, but because you are stronger. And in time you will look back at the storms that once threatened to destroy you and realize they were never meant to. They were meant to build you into this moment, this mission, this unshakable force the world cannot bend. Now, the choice is yours, to keep this flame hidden, safe, and small, or to step fully into the role you were spared for and let its light reach further than you could ever walk. I will leave you with this. The mission will not wait forever. It is awake now, and it is looking at you, asking you one question. Will you answer? We'll continue this journey together, because this is only the first chapter of what you're about to become. Subscribe to Chill, Then Conquer, and when we meet again, we'll go deeper into the strategies, the discipline, and the inner architecture of a life that no storm can collapse. Until then, hold the line, stay unshakable, and remember, the world is watching, but more importantly, the mission is.